they gave away one. They were on a free cruise, and they were each cruise of GE people. There was like 2 of them they gave away on the stage, and they shipped them from Dallas to Sacramento.
Was there branding or something?
Oh my God! And all he had to do was pay the sales tax on it, the California sales tax.
Wow.
And it was about the same time he sold that property, so he was feeling pretty flush. The sales tax was quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Mercedes, yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
But when they told him he couldn't build there, and they fought him at the supervisors' meetings, he said, council, because I don't think anybody else will ever do it. I never wanted to give it back. He was holding it over walking. It's like, what are you holding over him? It's a liability.
I tried to give it to Ricky Horse.
Ready? Okay. Ready, everybody? All right. All right, let's get going with this meeting. Before we call it to order, I have something I need to read. Welcome to the August 11th Loomis Town Council meeting. Tonight's meeting is being broadcast live to our YouTube channel and through the Zoom platform. Links for both can be found on tonight's agenda available on the town's website. You'll note that we have instituted physical distancing for those in attendance tonight. In order to maintain that distance, please do not move your chairs. Tonight's meeting will follow this format. Public comment for matters not on the agenda. Please do not comment on the Costco project during this portion. We will then begin the consent agenda. I will then open up the public hearing for Costco. Staff will provide remarks. The project applicant will then be provided an opportunity to speak. They are attending via Zoom tonight. The project co-applicant will then be provided an opportunity to speak. The council will ask questions of the project applicant and any additional questions for staff. Public comment will be opened. Public comment will be opened for each agenda item for in-person comments and through the Zoom platform only. Please note that YouTube live stream comments are disabled for the live stream. You can participate in the meeting via Zoom software or via telephone. When you join the meeting, you will be muted by default. To inform the clerk that you would like to make a public comment, you will use the raise hand feature. You can find the button to raise your hand at the bottom of the screen if you are using the Zoom meeting software. Please note that you should only raise your hand during public comment on the agenda item you are concerned about. You can also participate in the meeting by telephone through Zoom, which offers an audio-only functionality. In order to do that, dial 669-900-9128. When asked for the meeting ID, enter 821-496-1513 and press the pound key. When asked for your participant ID, simply press the pound key to continue. You will be muted by default. If you are listening in via phone, in order to inform the clerk that you would like to make a public comment during each agenda item, dial *9 to raise your hand. The clerk will unmute you when it is your turn to speak and will identify you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. Please note that you should only raise your hand during public comment on the agenda item you are concerned about. Be prepared to comment on the specific agenda item you wish to comment when I announce the item. You will have 3 minutes to comment per agenda item. Public comment will be open for each open agenda item through the following means. First, by those in attendance inside the facility. Please stand on the blue X marks in the center of the floor in order to maintain physical distancing. Please do not touch the microphone when you are speaking. Once you are done speaking, please head directly back to your seat. Once all of those inside the facility are done speaking, we can call in those who are waiting outside. Those speakers will need to form a queue following the blue X marks on the floor. Once a commenter is finished speaking, we ask that they follow the tape marks and head back outside in order to maintain the capacity of the facility. When all members of the public in attendance have commented, we will open comments up to those commenting on the Zoom platform. Once public comment is finished, we will bring it back to the council for deliberation. And with that said, I want to call our meeting to order. It's 7:07, August 11th. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Morales?
Here.
Councilmember Baker? Here. Councilmember Duncan?
Here.
Councilmember Onderko? Here. Mayor Clark Kretz?
Here. All right. Now we will have public comment for items not on the agenda.
Hello, my name is Pam Blake, longtime resident, and I want to bring up something new this time on how all 5 of you represent, the town of Loomis, but not everybody in the town of Loomis can vote or are represented. Thank you, Brett. Not everyone is represented by the decisions, that you make, and I know the town limit map that I've looked at is just like, it's all over the place, so I would like to see it expanded out more to include other people, because when you raise the trash rate, you raise it for them, too, and so all of us pay, and also it was canceled this year, but they also can't go to the community, trash day. So I don't know what you guys can do, but I wanted to bring that up, that you're making decisions for, people that don't have any input. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Any other public comment for items not on the agenda? Do we have any online? Okay, do you want to wait a couple seconds or? Okay. Let's move into adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, may we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Baker?
Aye.
Councilmember Morales?
Aye.
Councilmember Duncan?
Aye.
Councilmember Onderko? Aye. Mayor Clark Kretz?
Aye. All right, now we have an opportunity to comment on consent calendar. Does anybody have any comments on the consent calendar? And do we entertain a motion then?
I move
that?
to adopt the consent calendar.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Duncan?
Aye.
Councilmember Baker?
Aye.
Councilmember Morales?
Aye.
Councilmember Underko? Aye. Mayor Clark Kretz?
Aye. All right. Now we're going to move to the public hearing. Let's see. We're going to open it up for staff first.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Sean Rebay, Loomis Town Manager. I'll actually turn it over to our consultant, planning consultant, Anders Hauge, to present this item to you.
All right. Anders Hauge, consultant to assist in the processing of the Costco project. The Town Council received response to comments on all the comments received through your August 4th meeting. Since that meeting, there have been 2 additional comments received, and the Council has received those. After you take public comments tonight, the staff will come back and respond to all the comments received since the August 4th meeting, where you actually have our responses in writing. Tonight, you're going to be asked to open up the public hearing again that you closed on August the 4th. Take public testimony. Public testimony will close. The staff is probably going to want a small break to go and discuss the comments that have been made. Then we will come back, make a presentation to you, and at that point in time, it will be open for you to make a decision on the Costco project. We're recommending tonight that you certify the Loomis Costco Environmental Impact Report, you adopt the CEQA findings, you adopt the Statement of Overriding Considerations, and you adopt the Mitigation Monitoring and Reporting Program in compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act. We're recommending that you amend the Town of Loomis Zoning Code and have the second reading. You had the first reading on August 4th. We also recommend that you approve the lot line adjustment, and we recommend that you approve a conditional use permit and design review for a warehouse retail use with the accessory fueling station, subject to the conditions of approval. If you have any questions of staff, since the last meeting, we're here to answer those.
Does anybody have any questions for staff? No? 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 Okay. All right. The project applicant will be speaking now, or?
I see him online, so if you'd like to speak, Michael.
Good evening, Mayor Clark and the members of the Loomis Town Council. My name is Michael Akuma. I'm the Director of Real Estate Development for Costco Wholesale. This has been a long journey to get to this point tonight. I don't... Can you hear me now? Let's see. How about now? Okay. Good evening, Mayor and the members of the Loomis Town Council. My name is Michael Akuma. I'm the Director of Real Estate Development for Costco Wholesale. This has been a long journey to get to this point tonight. I really don't know what else to say except that your staff, your town manager, has been great to work with and has enabled this project to move correctly through the process. I humbly request that you vote in favor of the project tonight, and thank you for all the hard work of everyone to get us here tonight.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for the applicant? No? Okay. Okay, please.
Michael, Tim Onderko here. A question. So, in the event that council approves the item tonight, what is, in a normal world, what's your estimation of getting your building permits, your applications for building permit into the city or the town rather, and then when would your target date be to start construction and finish the project? And I know that's a moving target because of many things, but what's your thinking there?
As soon as we received our approvals tonight, if that's the decision, we would launch immediately into construction drawings. That'll take a couple months, and then it'll go straight into plan check. As soon as we get permits, get all of our necessary permits and approvals with the county, the state, the town, we would launch into construction. Typically, construction takes about 8 to 9 months to get to grand opening. And that's basically assuming the best case scenario.
Thank you.
Will there be a presentation by the co-applicant?
I don't see him here.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see the co-applicant in the audience.
All right. So then we'll go ahead and open this up for public comment. But before we do that, I want to read the following. We will now open for public comment. We will first take public comment from those in the building. Please remember to stand on the blue X marks on the floor to maintain proper physical distancing. Once those inside have commented, we will call in those who are waiting outside. When those in-person commenters are finished, we will open public comment via the Zoom platform. If you are participating via Zoom software, please click the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. If you are participating via phone, please press *9 to raise your hand. We will identify you by either your name or the last 3 numbers of your phone number. Please note that you have 3 minutes for your comment. Once you reach those 3 minutes, we will ask you to please wrap up your comment. If you do not wrap up your comment in those few seconds, we will need to mute your microphone. So with that said, let's open up for public comment. No.
Just a little closer to the microphone.
I didn't want to, there we go, Tara Wells, King Road. Hey, I wanted to come here tonight because I was a staunch person against the villages. I just didn't think that was the right fit. And here I feel completely the opposite. I think the location is superb for a Costco. Sierra College was there long before Rockland decided to put all their buildings in infrastructure. And when Rockland did that, they knew that Loomis owned that 19 acres, or didn't own it, the owners owned it, but it was in the town of Loomis, and they knew that that was going to be developed, whether it's a Costco, which I think is brilliant, or an apartment, or whatever it is, the land belongs to Loomis. So I read about how Rockland gets in the mix of this, and Rockland, but you know, the Sierra College goes Roseville, Loomis, Rockland, then Loomis again, then Penryn. It's a long road, and it's used by lots of people. If they didn't want people to bring in tax dollars to Rockland, they probably shouldn't have built their Walmart and all their other stuff over there, because that's what they did. And I think that we should have all the right in the world to have a Costco on that location. And so I just wanted to say, if it were up to me, we would have had Costco last year. I read the town manager, and he's been doing a brilliant job of trying to negotiate. And I'm under the belief of, you know, if they're not going to negotiate, we have the right to build there. We should build our Costco and let Rockland deal with whatever Rockland's going to deal with. I just wanted to come here and say I can't wait for a Costco on Sierra College. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara.
Hello, my name's Pam Blake. I rewatched the YouTube from last Tuesday, and I have a comment to make regarding Sabrina Teller, the CEQA attorney, and I'm going to quote what she said last Tuesday, that this project doesn't require perfection, doesn't require delay in certification until every single commenter is 100% satisfied and supports the project. I do happen to agree with that. However, I'm looking into the future for other projects that this may set a precedence, for future development. This last week, I've also been following Next Door, the Loomis community, post, and it's been going, looks like more for Costco than, against Costco. And that was my main thing, was that you represent, the voters of this town before you vote for something that is this large. And the Rockland attorney isn't here, but I wanted to make a comment towards him and Rockland that they're doing a disservice to their residents by not extending Granite Drive for another entrance into the Costco. I think that was it. And I've been talking for days about this. So, and I actually got my voice back, today, but it seems that more people are for the Costco than against it. So I guess it'll be good for this town. I'm just hoping for another entrance maybe to help with the traffic, even though we get the tax dollars finally and not Rockland, but they will be, using the Costco. Lincoln. And then somebody had mentioned, jobs too. It'd bring jobs to Loomis. I don't know how many jobs Loomis residents will get, because based on my 30-plus years of experience in human resource, it usually goes to the transfers and seniority, first. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Pam. Any other public comment?
We got one on Zoom.
Okay. We have somebody online.
David Ring, you're up.
Hello?
Thank you, David.
Okay, you can hear me now? Yes, okay. So there were a couple questions and comments from the meeting last Tuesday, and I was hoping they would get addressed this week. I didn't feel like they were addressed last week very well. So first of all, the EIR consultant, when he was talking about the sound study, it sounded like he said that the noise levels at the apartments after Costco moves in will be lower than they are right now. And I wasn't sure if I misheard that. I went back and rewatched it, and doesn't sound right, but I just wanted to verify that that was true. Also, when they talked about whether the sound wall was going to obstruct the view of the drivers turning onto Brace, the Costco representative mentioned that the sound wall design wasn't completely determined yet. And I wondered, if the sound wall design changes, are they going to have to redo the sound study then to verify that everything works out again? Someone also asked about the possibility of fewer gas pumps on that site. And I would like to hear someone on the council or from Costco address that possibility. 30 pumps to me seems a little excessive, considering that there are already about 40 gas pumps on the corner of Sierra College and Granite Drive already. And finally, I understand that the need for an additional traffic light at Sierra College Boulevard entrance, as it's been proposed, that's definitely necessary as long as the Granite Drive entrance doesn't exist. But there are currently 7 stoplights within a 1-mile stretch along Sierra College Boulevard from Taylor heading towards Rockland. And I wonder if there was a traffic study done that included an entrance on Granite, but didn't have a stoplight at the entrance on Sierra College. And if so, would it be possible to require that if the Granite Drive entrance is actually built or allowed by the city, that Costco would build the entrance on Granite, but then remove the light on Sierra College? And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Do we have any other public comment online? No. Okay. Just wait maybe a couple minutes, a couple of seconds, I mean. Any more? So now, from what I understand, we're going to be taking a little bit of a break. Is that right? To answer.
If you would close the public hearing.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at this point. We are seeing nobody out here, and there isn't anybody in the queue online. And so we're going to go ahead and close the public hearing.
So, Madam Mayor, I'd recommend that you give us maybe 10 or 15 minutes or so to just come back, prepare responses to any of the comments that came up.
Okay.
If we could take a break.
No problem. It's 7:27. Let's go ahead and take a 10 to 15 minute break. Thank you, everybody. All right, is everybody ready to reconvene? I would like to reconvene our meeting. It's 7:38, and I understand we will have some answers for the public comment.
We do. Wanted to start out by noting to the public that the detailed responses to the comments made through the August 4th meeting, including written and verbal, are on the city's website, both under the council meeting and also on the site dedicated to Costco. So those are there, and you can get detailed responses to those things. One of the questions came up about the number of gas pumps. The environmental document looked at 30. What is being proposed now are 24. There are no additional environmental impacts between the 24 and 30. Therefore, it is a business decision of Costco at some point in time if they want to add gas pumps to the fueling station. Regarding Granite Drive, it was looked at in the environmental document, but the access off of Sierra College Boulevard into the Costco project is essential. It is what Sierra College Boulevard is designed to do, and that the granite access is supplemental to the Sierra College Boulevard access, the main access, but that has to remain open under the design of the project. Regarding the noise levels with the sound wall, I think I'm going to have Matthew address that about the sound wall. So Matthew is now going to address the issues dealing with the environmental document and your ability to certify this environmental document as being complete.
Thank you, Anders. I'm Matthew Gherkin from AECOM. I was the project manager for the environmental document. There's a very good question about existing noise levels compared to future noise levels that is based on testimony from last week. The question was something to the effect of, did I hear you say that after the project noise levels will be lower than existing conditions? And I wanted to clarify that we took a noise measurement in approximately the location of the Brace Road access point, which will, during the daytime, handle some truck deliveries. On the day we took that short-term noise measurement, we happened to get a maximum measurement of, I think it was around 82 decibels. And what I mean is that the maximum noise level attributable to truck movements is between 70 and 78, something like that. So the max from trucks would be less than the maximum measurement we happened to take during short-term conditions on one day when we were out there. And that's what I meant by that. Not that the project is necessarily going to overall reduce all types of noise levels. There was also a question about site distance along Brace Road relative to the sound wall and whether that requires new analysis of the effectiveness of the sound wall. And what we're talking about there are what would be minor design features looking forward. If that would violate the requirements of mitigation if the sound wall was moved to no longer be effective in reducing noise levels for the apartment buildings. So we're not talking about the sort of design changes that's going to require a new noise analysis. I think that was it for me, and I'll just reiterate that for those interested in additional details related to noise or any other topic, please see the final EIR where the treatment is comprehensive and the various responses to late comments that have come up that are in the revised attachment 7 for tonight's agenda.
And to reiterate what Matthew just said is when Costco comes in with the building designs, which Michael mentioned earlier, the town is required to review those and assure that they meet the requirements of the conditions of approval and the standards of the town of Loomis. So when those designs come in, we will make sure that it is in compliance with the decision you make. And with that, it's time for you to have your discussion and make a decision.
Okay, thank you, both of you. Does anybody have any comments that they'd like to make prior to, do you have a comment? Go ahead, please.
I think my comments are going to be kind of two-part. I want to first start with the frustrations I've had with this project. And part of the frustrations that I've had have been with some of the outside forces trying to dictate what Loomis does. I do not believe that Rockland has negotiated in good faith for a lot of years. Golly, going back 3 or 4 years now when we started meeting with them about this. With Ricky Horse, the conversation was a lot different than it is now. They basically have stopped negotiating. They come in and say that they are interested in Loomis succeeding, but if they were interested in us and what we had going on, they would have negotiated in good faith, which they haven't. We've had a business owner that's over in Rockland that has spent a lot of time stirring up people's emotions about this project. That individual has said that he cares for South Loomis and that South Loomis deserves better. But I didn't hear that particular person when they built millions of square feet of retail or when they put a weave lane in front of his business that causes daily accidents or that the traffic that impacts South Loomis, anything. He was quiet until this project. What he really doesn't like is competition, and that's what it comes down to. And I don't blame him, but at the same time, let's at least be honest about what's going on here. I will say I received nothing but phone calls, text messages, emails, telling me if I let Costco go, that people are going to be mad at me. And I kind of laughed at that. And I spent a lot of time reviewing all of these documents here, reading comments both for and against the project, reading the responses staff had, reading environmental documents. There's a lot of time that's spent going through all of these things, and I am completely comfortable with approving this environmental document. I believe that the steps that have been taken are appropriate and that I find them to be satisfactory. Thank you.
Thank you. No comments? Jeff?
I just wanted to comment on how we in Loomis are smack dab in the middle of a tremendous population growth in Lincoln and Rockland, and we have no control over that. And I don't think anyone can deny that Sierra College Boulevard is the main artery that will be carrying that traffic. When I first moved to Placer County in '83 on the I-80 exit off of Sierra College Boulevard, there were 2 gas stations there, an old Chevron and an old US 76, traditional is what I meant to say, not old, but had the mechanics, less pumps than are allowed now. But I've done a lot of cross-country traveling, and one thing that is consistent is gas stations are always off the freeway exits, and they're usually on the corners of intersections. Just like in Rockland, we have 3 gas stations, Arco, Chevron, 7-Eleven. They amount to 40 gas pumps. And when we first started with our 2 gas stations on Sierra College, the population, I believe, was around 100,000. Our population in Placer County is pushing 400,000. So to say, well, there's, 24 to 30 gas pumps, that's too many, that's kind of disingenuous when we have 30 gas pumps within 100 yards of each other. And the other thing is, with the population growth and Sierra College being that artery, main artery from Lincoln, we need gas pumps. Otherwise, talk about a mess at Arco station now with weaving in and out. You know, we need more to move the traffic along. And that's the other thing about Costco, is it's very well organized. It's one way in, one way out. You're not dilly-dallying around, going to the bathroom, buying soda, or anything like that. It's all about gas and getting out of there. So I just wanted to talk about the appropriateness of the location of the Costco and the gas station. It is an appropriate place. To the Loomis neighbors that live off of Brace Road, I totally understand your concerns. I've had concerns regarding traffic throughout Loomis, especially on the country roads that are connectors to other areas. Horseshoe Bar Road, Laird, Barton Road, Del Mar, King Road. I've lived in Loomis since '86. I commuted to Folsom on Laird Road and Auburn Folsom for 24 years. I've seen the traffic in the past 15 years have been twice as much, double the amount of the previous 20 years. At the July 7th Plan Commission meeting, Mike Hogan said that traffic has increased 15% and Loomis population has only increased 2.7%. That is a study that I believe that we can attest with our own eyes. I have seen dangerous drivers everywhere, not just in Loomis, but it is especially difficult for a small town that has limited resources to address these issues. I've seen Brace Road at Barton Road become a game of Russian roulette as I'm trying to turn left onto Brace, but my sight line is not sufficient for someone that is headed in my direction at 50 miles per hour. I would like to slow down traffic on Brace Road as well as all of these other roads, but in order to do so, we have to have the ability to allocate law enforcement officers and enforce traffic laws. The speed limit signs are being ignored. Enforcement would slow the through travelers down, at least make other alternate routes more attractive, and we could do this with extra revenue. Now, will Loomis survive without Costco? We can survive. We've survived for a long time, but it would really help us, you know, as far as enforcement and improvements to our infrastructure. Rockland. I'm really at a loss of words for here when it comes to Rockland. For whatever reason, it does not seem what they know what they really want. Loomis and Costco has offered to do more than just what would normally be required of a project. When Rockland wanted Costco to address the Granite Drive access to the project site, Costco happily and Town Loomis happily, of course, did so. Then Rockland changed their mind. This is what would be advantageous to everyone. Our plan, or the Costco plan now, stands on its own. We have addressed the traffic concerns, and I believe that the light entrance and exit is a great idea compared to, you know, people want to compare us with the Costco at Roseville. Well, Roseville doesn't have a dedicated light. It has 3 entrances and exits on 5-star that get clogged by other businesses that are coming to the light that turns on Stanford Ranch. I believe one of the studies talked about how much traffic goes down Stanford Ranch, even more so than what is in front of our Sierra College at this time. So the fact that the studies that have been done, the traffic studies have been done, the fact that Rockland asked us to do a study that they use now, and we complied, and the fact that they, I'm not really sure why they would, you know, ask us to do another study when the study we're using is the one that they use for all their projects on Sierra College Boulevard, or most of them at least. The other thing is, it's frustrating, like Brian was saying, is when, oh, let's look at the Grant Drive, and then we look at it and then they walk away from that. I mean, really, is the Grant Drive dead end part of the Rockland plan? I don't think that's a plan. You just look at the timeline of the discussions that's presented in the final EIR under comment number 57, pages 3,287 through 3,288, or our attachment 6, agency coordination or efforts. Gives you an idea of what we have been dealing with. Another request listed by Rockland was to move the main entrance to Costco 100 feet north and to have 2 right-hand turn lanes into the entrance. This request does nothing to make traffic safer or more efficient. It actually can lead to more unsafe conditions. I know that if anybody's been in that situation, it does clog up traffic more. Just from a layman's point of view, I've seen that happen on more than one occasion. I'm going to stop here with an observation talking about Rockland. So there is one thing that I'd like to see Costco do, and I'm impressed that Costco wants to do as much tree mitigation or replanting instead of in lieu fees. And I just would like to see Costco contact Jeff Darlington, the director of the Placer Land Trust, in order to review the best places for mitigation of almost 8 acres of Valley Oaks. I do believe the area close to Trailer Ranch Road, Bird Sanctuary, and Nature Reserve, which is within 5 miles of the project, has been mentioned in the past for mitigation of Valley Oaks. I want to thank Costco again for actually trying to save trees as opposed to paying in lieu fees. So I want to thank staff, and I want to thank staff for all the work that has been put into this over the past 3 years. And I want to apologize to staff, to you, for the nasty behavior and the disrespect you've had to endure. At what point do you stop accepting harassment that is cloaked in endless questioning on phone calls? It is uncalled for, and it is what some people do when they have nothing of substance to say. I would also like to thank the residents of Loomis that have made suggestions and statements of concern that I believe have made this a better project. I'm very glad to have a company like Costco involved that will do the right things to make a better project. Costco has been proven to be that type of quality business that, as you can see by the way they treat their employees, we know that unlike some other retail giants, they are not the type of business to abandon their store and move away. Their positive reputation precedes them. I want to thank the planning commissioners for the work that they do. The comments that they made at the July 7th meeting were thoughtful regarding all aspects of the project, but most importantly, how we as a community can make great improvements to our infrastructure and services. Not to mention the good paying jobs, which I think kind of gets lost in all the talk about traffic, and I do believe that after reviewing the FEIR and investigating the issues brought up by residents and neighboring interested parties, I find the final ER is valid, and this is to be a good project and is in the right location with the help of our neighbors. Sorry, got a little excited here. With the help of our neighbors working with Costco and Loomis, the concern for traffic issues can be remedied. I just hope that everyone else that has been involved in this really looks at the totality of the EIR and how well done it's been. And I have nothing but hope, and I believe that this is going to be a great thing for our entire area, not just for Loomis. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I appreciate the comments by my fellow council members. I do want to make a few comments, Madam Mayor, because I was on the 2x2 committee over the last couple of years, and you know, this process can be difficult because a lot of what we say has to be waited out until we are in a position to make our statements in public. Let's see. First of all, I've had a lot of people reach out to me who live in Rockland. We associate and are friends with people that are neighbors in Rockland. Not just a couple people, but a lot of people have reached out over the last couple weeks and months. And I have to say that I think there's a lot that goes back and forth about, well, us versus Rockland and so on, but that's not how a lot of people look at it, right? A lot of people look at the Loomis Costco as a regional benefit, and they're really excited. They don't really care that there's Costco is going to be in Loomis or whatnot. They're just happy that they don't have to go to Roseville and maybe a shorter commute for them. I would caution Rockland politicians to be careful, because there are a lot of their constituents are very supportive of this project. So having said that, the 2x2 has been interesting. I ran into the city manager at a breakfast in 2019 at the end of the year, and we exchanged pleasantries. He's a nice man, and he offered, I said at the time, I said, you've been very provocative with some of your comments towards Loomis, and in fact, untruthful, and I've got a problem with that, sticking up for my town, as I should. And he was nice enough to invite me to come to his office, and he said, well, I'd like to sit down with you. And this was his idea, Madam Mayor. He said, I'd like to sit down and talk to you about some of my concerns, all right? I said, no problem. I think that's a great idea. I think communication's important. And so I offered to come in. I asked staff, Loomis staff, to make the appointment. They reached out to him, and he said, well, I'm too busy, not going to make it happen this week. And so we did a follow-up, and a couple of weeks later, and he gave me the same kind of line: too busy, not going to make it happen. And I bring this up, Madam Mayor, because this really is a good summary of the relationship or the attitude or approach that Rockland has brought to the table. So I think it's important to separate what management is doing in Rockland and what the people want in Rockland. And I think that's important. So, listen, there's a lot more to come between Loomis and Rockland. I hope that we can join together, because I think that we're more alike than we are different between the two towns, and the city and the town of Loomis. And I want to see that relationship grow. And I think we've done we've put a lot of work in over the last 3 or 4 years to make that happen. It hasn't been perfect, but I will extend an olive branch to our colleagues, or our counterparts rather, in Rockland. To, there's going to be other things that happen on the border that we ought to be able to work together on. And if I have anything to do with it, we will not give them a cold shoulder when they're trying to negotiate their projects. So that's that. I do have to say, I know some people in Loomis are not happy. There is a concerted effort with the business owner that Councilmember Baker referenced. And there's really two competing theories here that exist. One is that, well, all the gas pumps are going to create competition, and competition isn't good for one side. Then the other side of it, which I agree with, is that a Costco will drive more people to the area and lift all the businesses, and I subscribe to that. I don't think that competition is the greatest problem here. I think it's the theory that that we just can't have too many gas pumps in the area. I think that, AM PM offers a lot that Costco won't. Right? A lot of people go to get gas at AM PM, and they go get a bag of chips and a soda pop. You can't do that in Costco. So I think that Costco is a good thing for the region. And I would just ask the people of Loomis who are getting fired up about quote traffic. That really is a strategic effort by people to get Loomis people excited. And I think that that's really a disgraceful tactic. People from outside our town should not be coming to our town and trying to divide us, all right? I've got a problem with that. And the good people of Loomis should not be treated as pawns in someone's made-up competition game. So that's what I've got to say about that. Councilmember Duncan did a great job at thanking staff. This has been a long haul. We have excellent staff here at Town Hall, and I thank all of them. We put a great team of consultants together for this. I'm happy. I'm satisfied with the EIR and the traffic analysis. Bottom line, I think what I want people to know is our experts are telling us, and the reports are telling us that we've got this right? The traffic plan is a really good traffic plan. It's really not fair to compare what's going on in Roseville to Loomis. These are different traffic patterns. These are different plans, different mitigation measures that we're putting forward. So I'm satisfied with the EIR. We've studied this hard. We've reviewed all the comments. I have personally read every comment and reply, and we're getting it right. And so I'm happy about that. And lastly, I just want to, in the event that we pass this tonight, welcome Costco to Loomis. With that, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Tim. Okay, so do you have a comment?
Yeah, I'll be brief. I concur with the previous statements that the council has made. I, too, am in favor of having Costco come to Loomis. I know it's a quality business and will bring business and tax dollars that we need. And I have also heard from people in the community, not just the ones that come to the meeting, but the ones that, the quiet majority out there that have supported me all these years. And they are all looking forward and they're anxious for Costco to be here. And so I think we need to just move this project in so that we can make our town residents happy to have a Costco and have the tax dollars that go with it.
Great. Thank you, Rhonda. Okay, this certainly has been quite a long time, hasn't it? All of us on the council have worked tirelessly, hours going through all of the documents that our experts have prepared for us. Thank you to the public for all your public comment, and that public comment is instrumental in helping us form this project so that it's a better fit for Loomis. I am, much like my council members, very, very confident in our CEQA documents. Extremely confident again that our experts, they've toiled over this and readdressed and readdressed and readdressed. Thank you for that. Yes, Costco will be a huge boon for Loomis and bring new and much needed revenue to our town, but it is so much more than that. The Costco Corporation is renowned for dedicating to quality in every area of their business and for their outstanding and respected business ethics. The town of Loomis is getting a Costco, one of the most premier and family-friendly businesses that we could hope for. According to a recent public comment that we received, it is a gem for our amazing town, and I couldn't agree more. Most people that I've spoken to in our town are extremely positive towards this project. The town is operating in a deficit position, and this was already the case prior to COVID and prior to the news that Homewood Lumber had moved. Like Homewood and the Noriani family, they fought hard for their location. We also believe that Costco deserves its spot across the street and will be a great addition to our town. Will all our citizens shop there? No, not all of our citizens will become Costco members, but all of our citizens will benefit from having a Costco, obviously by helping to generate revenue to repair our roads and make our town's infrastructure even safer. But also some of the other great factors this business brings to the table, which I will talk about in a bit. Here's a fun fact. Just think. Our citizens that do have memberships will not have to drive to Roseville anymore, and you are welcome, Rockland. It will make it easier for people to shop in Rockland as well. First, I want to emphasize that we are very sensitive to the citizens of our town who live near the project. We honor you and endeavor to help guide us all through the impacts of our new Costco. The town of Loomis pledges to be your advocate for any issues. Costco has assured us that they value being the best neighbor and to be available immediately for any problems. Costco has very family-friendly hours, and the warehouse is always closed on the holidays so that their employees may enjoy family time. This warehouse has a potential to bring in 175 jobs potentially. Costco is also known to carry local goods, and our businesses here in Loomis have an opportunity to get their products sold there, which is very exciting. This is also true for our region. You are welcome, Rockland. You may have local companies that will benefit greatly from our store. Thank you to the Town of Loomis staff for your incredible hard work over the last 3 years. We are so blessed to have you on our team. You are amazing professionals at the top of your field. You are honest, and you have the best integrity. You have also remained focused and not retaliatory in the face of adversity with Rockland's smear campaign. We cannot be prouder of your excellent work. Again, thank you, Town of Loomis staff, along with Town Attorney Jeff Mitchell, and thank you, Planning Consultant Anders Haag and Christy. Thank you all for your incredibly hard work and important business done for our traffic consultants at Wood Rogers, who peer-reviewed the original traffic study by Kittleson and Associates. Thank you, Matthew, for all your hard work. Thank you to our Planning Commission as well. I think most of us mentioned them. They worked incredible hours going through all these important documents to make sure that what is presented to us is a good fit in their opinion. Thank you, Planning Commissioners. Costco, thank you for picking Loomis. Thank you very much. We have made a concerted effort over the last 4 years to improve and work on our relationship with Rockland. We made it clear that we wanted to be good neighbors. When the Costco project came forward, Rockland asked for more time to go over it, and they asked for 6 months. It ended up being 18 total. We gave them over a year. We did this because of our relationship with Rockland, and we wanted to be good neighbors, not to give you time to wage war with us. It just went downhill from there. In the beginning, Rockland wanted money. This we agreed to because we want to pay for our fair share and be good neighbors. Rockland wanted access at Granite Drive. We agreed. Then they changed their minds. Rockland wanted a second access point at Brace Road. This was added into the project. And the only thing this request did was enrage our citizens on Brace Road. And just like before, Rockland eventually said, "We don't want that after all." Rockland said our traffic studies were flawed and didn't agree with the sim traffic methodology, even though that is the methodology that Rockland uses for its traffic analysis. So we agreed to work a traffic study with the Synchro software. We sent over our study that was requested by Rockland, which clearly showed that we can mitigate the issues, and we never heard back from them. Over the past 18 months, I have spoken with most, if not all, of my counterparts on the Rockland City Council and was met with mostly positives regarding our Costco. The one sticking point seemed to be that location, the main entrance on Sierra College Boulevard, and they wanted it to be moved north 100 feet. During my meetings, it was clear that the Rockland City Council members were receiving misinformation from their staff. I asked for us to meet so that we can all go through the traffic studies, experts meeting experts. A few of the council members agreed with me and wondered why there was such a disconnect between what their staff told them and what we were saying. Meetings were scheduled and then canceled. Why does the staff over in Rockland fill its council members misinformation about Loomis? It really baffles my mind. It's very frustrating. If the problem is just the 100-foot issue at the entrance, why did we get a 65-page letter of issues from Rockland? What is the meaning of that? We cannot move the entrance to the Costco because you can't flush out the entrance traffic without running into pedestrians entering the facility. Look back at the document. It clearly shows that people are, taking their carts and trying to get in safely. It's an obvious problem. Why can't they see the safety issue? Is it an issue with the property owner, Westcor, across the street, as some council members alluded to? No, it's not. We met with them, and they have no issue with the entrance where it is. Okay, so what gives? Is it really a traffic issue? Our traffic studies show that we can mitigate all issues as long as we have agreements with Rockland. We have had our traffic studies peer-reviewed. Remember, Rockland asked us to do another traffic study using their methodology with their data inputs. We did that. We submitted that, and we heard nothing. The Petrovich property southeast of the Costco project is in the pre-planning stages, and they have an agreement with Costco on an entrance to Granite Drive. This mitigates much of the Rockland argument, yet they act as if this is coming out of thin air. Why did countless meetings get canceled at the hands of Rockland? Why did they post a smear campaign a few days before the public hearing on Facebook and their website and not reach out to us all along? Doesn't sound like good neighbors. What do they really want? Doesn't seem like they want us to have Costco. It sounds like they want it all. The Sierra College corridor is jammed with Rockland businesses, big and small. In terms of big box stores, Loomis has Rayleigh's, so this would be 2 for us. We all want to get this project right. We believe we have. We have been communicative with Rockland. We've worked hard at trying to build a relationship with Rockland, to no avail. And I say this to my counterparts on the City Council. You know we've been working sincerely to build our relationship with you. We were adamant when we said your staff has misrepresented our town to you in the worst way, and last year Mayor Durko hand-delivered documents that clearly and honestly told the truth from Loomis's standpoint. The Rockland City staff that has worked on this project has systematically and strategically torpedoed it from the beginning. Why? It seems like your city manager and staff only sees us as an enemy. Why is that? Do they have it out for us from the past? If so, just say it. Would it be better to be transparent than waste all this precious time? In addition, you say that your traffic consultant, Fear and Peers, somehow is able to dispute 2 other nationally and respected traffic consultants. Why is Fear and Peers better than our initial traffic study and its peer review? And why were all of us never allowed to meet? Your claim that our Costco will impact your businesses on Sierra College, and yes, we have heard from one gentleman who owns that Arco station and has the newest of the 3 gas stations on this side of the freeway. Clearly, he's fighting the project because he feels that Costco will be competition, and he's protecting his own interests. I really don't think he cares much for our town at all. To you, sir, and with all due respect, this will only affect your customers who have Costco memberships and those that have more time to get gas. With Costco present, you will still have a steady flow of customers to your gas station and mini-mart, which is a totally different business plan. Rockland is quoted as saying, Rockland's concerns focus on the glaring inadequacy of the analysis of traffic impacts of the project, as well as the unreasonableness of recommended mitigation measures to Rockland streets and intersections. Glaring inadequacy? We have a top-notch CEQA document that begs to differ. What unreasonableness of mitigation measure of Rockland streets and intersections do you refer to? Rockland says that this project presents significant challenges to Rockland's transportation infrastructure, public services, and business viability in the area. Specifically, what do you mean by this? Rockland, you have so many businesses already located along this stretch of Sierra College. We have 1. And are proposing 1 more. How can one business that has less vehicle miles traveled than current zoning cause significant challenges to your transportation infrastructure that you were responsible for? Your public services? This is a town of Loomis business, and no matter what gets developed there, both of our public services would be involved. So really that's a moot point. With respect to business viability, you will actually gain momentum in that department. Why don't you ask Mr. Petrovich what he thinks? I believe he came to one of your city council members and came before you to provide public comment on this exact subject. Having a Costco nearby is a huge boon to all the surrounding businesses. Rockland goes on to state that Loomis has mostly ignored concerns formally expressed by Rockland. This is a false statement. We have been actively trying to work out concerns by Rockland since the inception. Rockland had original concerns mostly centered around money, and once that hurdle was done, we received more requests. The list got longer and longer. The requests were asked and answered and then withdrawn. Reminds me of Cinderella. Here's your laundry list, which we will add to incessantly and never have any end to it. The goal is to stop and delay our project for some benefit to Rockland. Finally, we heard the audacious comment that the leaders met multiple times to try and reach a consensus, but to no avail. I cry foul here. Hey, now, Rockland, you know better than that. We never gave up. You did. You refused to meet with us. You refused to communicate. And we asked, and we asked, and we asked. It's quite apparent that you never wanted to work anything out. A quote from Shakespeare comes to my mind. The city of Rockland doth protest too much, methinks. Yes, Loomis did make a mistake. We had a glimmer of hope that Rockland would be a good neighbor and be fair with us regarding the Costco project. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that's the case. And now, because we gave Rockland all that extra time out of goodwill, we may have some potential losses because of it. I concur. We really still want to be good neighbors. However, we love the fact that Costco has chosen Loomis, and we will fight very, very hard to keep this project in our town. And that's all I have for tonight. All right. So now I will entertain a motion reflecting our staff's recommendation.
Move motion to approve staff recommended actions.
Second, Madam Mayor.
Okay. May I have roll call, please?
Okay, now this is going to be for all of the recommendations? Okay, good. Councilmember Baker?
Aye.
Councilmember Onderko?
Aye.
Councilmember Morales?
Aye.
Councilmember Duncan?
Aye.
Mayor Clark Kretz?
Aye. Okay. So that took care of, can you give me some direction, please?
I think that's it on item 13.
What's that, Jeff?
That's it on this item.
Okay.
So you're on to council committee reports.
Okay, so, wow, that seemed so nice and easy. All right, we'll go to council committee reports. Does anybody have anything to report? Okay. Nothing at this time? All right. All right, well, with that said, how about we adjourn at 8:19? What? Good?